I'm the director of Joplin School's Early Childhood Center. Thank you for joining us today. We are here to celebrate partnership, collaboration, and dedication to educating our youngest Eagles. We've actually been in this facility for more than 4 years, and it's been a great space. We're very thankful for the space. It has served us very well, but we are very excited to announce the construction of a new facility where we can expand our program and also be able to serve more than 320 students. Our friends at Mercy have donated the land to us, and our city and state partners will be providing our funding. We are very pleased to have Governor Nixon here today in Joplin. He has been very dedicated and committed to our schools, our students, and our community. He's been a tireless advocate for education in our state by providing record K-12 funding, making it very affordable to go to college, and also expanding the access to early childhood education. The people of Joplin know that we have an ally and an advocate in Governor Nixon. Please welcome our 55th Governor of Missouri, Mr. Jay Nixon.
Good morning. Thank you, man, and thanks everybody for being here. Sometimes it seems like every time I come back to Joplin, there's another milestone, a positive milestone to celebrate. And I remember last summer, a warm day, we were down at the Owens Corning $90 million facility just west of here. The Jasper County's first in the nation certified work-ready status. As some of you recall, back in 2011, we were looking for every economic development tool we could come up with. Certified work-ready had just been formed by the folks that run ACT out of Iowa. Jasper County first in the nation to do that. We're now about 35 counties in Missouri have followed suit. It's really making a big difference out there. You know, the dedication of the new schools here all across this great town, the opening of the new Mercy Hospital, Joplin. Quite frankly, it's great to be at a place where there's so much good going on. I think it's important, a couple of things. First of all, to note that it's no surprise that Joplin's population is now greater than it was before the tornado. You know, from day one, our concern was not to end up like Greenwood, Kansas, where you now have 20%, 23% of the people that were there before the tornado, or other places like New Orleans and other places where people just left and didn't come back. And so all of the work that was done makes a difference. But you know what keeps people? Jobs. And that's why I'm so proud that you're sitting here in the community with an unemployment rate at only 3.9% right now, a national rate at 4.9%, state rate at 4.4%. So thank you for helping getting our state rate down. It's the lowest it's been in 15 years, but quite frankly, people tied to the community, if they have jobs and they have careers and opportunities, and that's especially important. But as always, the key to success down here is the people, especially young people. You know, this is a great day for them. Folks here in Joplin understand that public schools are the hearts and souls of communities. And in the global economy, public education is, quite frankly, the best economic development tool there is. I just came back from a trip of trade mission to the country of Colombia and Peru. And while there, spent a tremendous amount of our energy talking about workforce development, our universities, our schools, which are way better than theirs in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying that to trash talk Peru, although I don't think there'd be any great benefit of that anyway. But other than to say that as they look to improve their economy in those areas and get their unemployment rate down into the single digits, they were asking us about the education system we have here and things just exactly like we're talking about right here, which is early education. Study after study confirms what parents and educators see each and every day. The first 5 years of a child's development have an impact that lasts a lifetime. In fact, studies have found that children who entered kindergarten ready to learn were 5 times more likely to succeed in math and reading by 3rd grade. 5 times more likely. In other words, early education is a smart investment with a big return. That's why over the past 3 years we have doubled funding for early childhood education in the Show Me State and given thousands more children access to quality early learning programs. This includes a program we launched called Missouri Start Smart, which uses grants and state tax credits to expand access to early learning opportunities across our state. These competitive grants can be used to construct, expand, or purchase building space, develop curriculum, and train teachers. Already, Missouri Start Smart has helped fund nearly 17 early childhood education projects serving more than 1,900 preschool-age children. And that's what brings us here today. Since the tornado, the Joplin School District's preschool program has operated out of these trailers, which have long outlived their usefulness. In fact, I appreciate the positive tone you had. Ellen, it's not built yet. But while population has continued to grow in Joplin, the number of child care slots has actually dropped by 16%. There's a real need out in the community. The growing community needs more and better space to help its young people thrive. That's why I'm pleased to announce that through the Missouri Start Smart program, the Joplin School District will receive $5 million to construct a new 32,000 square foot early childhood education center that will more than double the amount of preschool slots available to local families. Congratulations to all of you. I should note, as I don't have to tell people here very much, these are competitive grants. Okay, there's a lot more demand for these than there are dollars. And so you won, you earned it and won, and that's important in a competitive world. Now there's always competition for these additional childhood resources, and I really appreciate the mayor and the city council for stepping up and rising to the challenge also. In fact, the city of Joplin is also putting up an additional $5 million grant to meet the project's total cost of $10 million. You'll hear from Mayor Seibert in just a minute to talk about that. I also want to personally thank Mercy for donating a property where the new early childhood center will be located. Their steadfast corporate citizenship manifests itself in many ways throughout this community, and this is yet another example. Now, as we approach the 5-year anniversary of that May evening in 2011, we were reminded that Joplin schools have been the bedrock of this community. We said then, and we said every step of the way, in the days, weeks, months, and even years after, to make sure that that bedrock, our schools, stayed strong. Quite frankly, got stronger. Today, we continue to deliver on that promise with smart, strategic investments in Joplin's future, more important than that, in the children's future. For years to come, this new early childhood center will stand as a shining testament to our shared commitment to helping kids start school ready to learn and ready to succeed in the 21st century economy. Now, as I said before, this is a partnership. So to talk about the city's contribution to this project, I'm pleased to introduce your mayor, Mike Seibert. Thank you.
Governor, it's always a pleasure to welcome you in our community, and when you bring resources, that's even better, so thank you very much. So, folks, child care is a priority here within our community. While childhood education is a key component to learning, it provides a window of opportunity for our young minds to begin developing critical thought processes that will help them throughout their lives. Through this childhood center, this will provide a beneficial resource to our youngest citizens. They will continue learning throughout their educational career in Joplin, making our community stronger and sustainable. Council was pleased to support this project as part of our Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program, designed to help make our community even better than before. Many worked on this project and funding resources to make this a reality, and we want to thank everyone involved in this long process. Special thanks to Patty Hegel and Troy Bolander with the city. I see Patty and Troy's back there. And we've got Dami Kahindri and Chuck Banks, our partners with Deloitte. We want to thank them, and of course our colleagues and partners with the school system. By working together, our community wins. We will enjoy an incredible childhood center. This will be a valuable asset and a great benefit to our youngest citizens and their parents who live and work in this great community. Governor, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
In conclusion, I'll be glad to take questions in just a second. I want to thank Dr. Ritter and everyone here at the Joplin Schools for everything that you do to build a brighter tomorrow for these kids. Your superintendent is a great education leader and somebody I've had a chance to interact with in some challenging moments, both in Springfield as well as in Melville. It took the magnet of Joplin to hold him from heading all the way back to his home state of Colorado. So I'm glad we kept right on the border here, but at least we kept him in the Show Me State for a little while longer. So it's always a pleasure to work with educational leaders of his magnitude. With that, I'd be glad to take any questions that the press has. Anybody? Any questions?
I will when I have batteries in my
Okay. Just tell me how long I have to talk about nothing.
All right, one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry about that. So you talked about, I believe, 17 other similar type of grants. Is this the sort of thing, there's one per year, it's on an as-needed basis? How are those distributed?
It's a competitive grant process that we have, and those other 17 projects have been a wide range of things. So what we take is a series of income streams we have. I mean, I'm going to be really boring here for just a second. You've got community development block grants, you have certain level of tax credits, and you have certain level of what are called TANF funds that you can use in these situations. So the different grants have been different types. This one fit through the community development block grant model a little easier than others. But what we try to do is try to make sure that we're focused on the challenges out there very often in facilities in preschool, because preschool is a relatively new concept to be tied directly to schools, and you'd be amazed at how many schools have started in like extra rooms outside or whatever like that, or in facilities like this. So we focused more on facilities, gone to communities where we've gotten community partners help. So that's why it's so important to have a partner like the city and Mercy here. And we've tried to stack all that up to make it most impactful. But there is, to say we've had 17 other grants, this makes the 18th, that's a small percentage of what's needed. Okay? And even this one is just a down payment on what the demand for these kind of excellent educational products is. I mean, this will not provide a facility that will give every kid in this town an ability to come here to get quality preschool. You still got more need than that. So it's a continuum of a path. But we try to stack together all of them based on the centerpiece of it being community development block grants and some tax credits. It's a long answer, but what we did first is went around. We have something called Missouri Preschool Program, which is evaluates and looks at preschools. So I went around with Dr. Nixon about 4 years ago and visited winners on the preschool program. We took a fair amount of time in learning about what was working and what the needs were, and then based on that we stood up this program. We hope to be able to have 3 or 4 more grants this year. Hopefully they'll be as impactful as this one. Yes, sir.
Governor, do we have a start date or a completion date on the project?
Dr. Ritter would be the work as far as timing on this.
We basically have to, help me, Mike, where are you at? There you are. What is the final?
No, I don't remember the date. It's a couple of years. We don't know
Well,
what's
it's
on.
2017,
Yeah.
I believe.
It's got to be done by then.
Yeah.
You got the back end is when it's got to be done. So when they it's an odd situation in which it has to be completed by a certain amount of time because of the funding sources. So instead of how quick can you start it, it's how soon can you get it done.
That's
I'm
exactly
saying that sounds
right.
weird, but
That's
it's the
right.
way that the funding sources work. It's once again, I apologize for being complicated about money, but it pays off if you actually understand the stuff. I know looking at some of these presidential campaigns, you'd be stunned that you have to actually understand anything to be in office. But the knowledge of the city and us and the folks who have been helpful in Mercy all stack these dollars up pretty effectively. Yes, ma'am.
One more question. I'm not looking for a laundry list or anything, but can you characterize some of the other 17 projects as far as locations? Are they similar early childhood operations?
Yeah, I mean, some of them were run by cities in small towns. We started out in a town called Jonesboro, Missouri, which is in southeast Missouri. It's actually the largest school district for bus routes in the state, but it's a rural small community that had started a pretty good preschool program, but was growing out of its seams. And plus they had to extend hours because the school is so far away from a lot of the folks that are working. To pick kids up or to get them there was really difficult, so they needed an expansion of time. So they needed some facilities and some resources that could make it a little longer so it would fit that community a little better. In north central Missouri we had a situation in which somebody that in a town had given an old house to the school district to use as a preschool, and it was just this dilapidated old house, and they appreciated the gift, but it wasn't set up for preschool, and so it was extremely difficult to get that done safely and get all the permits and that sort of stuff. So we helped them. They sold that. We helped turn those dollars into matching dollars with us, and they're in the process of building a new facility in north central Missouri, just south of Chillicothe, in a small town. Also, then in western Missouri, we had a child care center that was in that community. that Ms. McGaugh and a number of other folks ran, and they needed an entirely new facility. They were on a significant highway, and they were getting a lot of parents that were coming through there and needed additional help. So each one has been a little bit different. We try to focus it locally. I mean, what's the need? And because these are choices. I mean, we show up with the dollars. You know, some portion of the dollars here, $5 million, not an insubstantial amount of money. But it's not our role to design. We look at what the problems are, but we believe deeply in the preschool area that you've got to have local solutions. Each community is a little different. Each need's a little different. And so we've kind of tried to tailor them to what those individual communities' needs are. All right, let me conclude by just thanking everybody here at Joplin School Districts and the city and Mercy and everybody for all that you have done and will do. The kids have done really, really well to sit here and listen to me talk. So with that, thank you all for doing